What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. Hopefully, all of you had a good day today. So, this stuff works. The Penetrex. The only issue is when you're running around in a hospital, trying to find 5 seconds to drop your pants and rub it all over the back of your leg. But it did help a lot. Just difficult to apply. That would be it. But yeah, good stuff. Thank you for the recommendation. Hopefully everybody had a good trading day. I'm just barely waking up. Spy, pretty easy today. This was our area to go calls. They held our important bulls need to hold level, 585.20. And just kept going and going and going. The puts never happened, but that's okay. I mean, they did for a second, but really not really. With that said, let's start erasing stuff. Hopefully you guys caught this calls. For people that are here for option setups, I don't have any, unfortunately. And this is going to be a shorter video. I have work, so I have to go hop in the shower and get ready. Let's see. Pretty interesting. You know, we're in a bracket, but a bracket that, well, I mean, this is what I'm about to say does not make any sense, but we're just slowly grinding up, right? We spent 2 days in this range here, pushed up a little bit higher today. We're still kind of just in the same range, but technically our value areas are not overlapping. Double distribution day. But nothing too crazy or too exciting. You're hilarious, Triple G. Yeah, sure. All right, let's zoom out, look at the big picture on SPY. Oh, excuse me. So, good volume today. Bullish candle. Really just like looks like they're wanting to go and make new all-time highs. It's going to be a grind to get there. But yeah, that's it. Let's look at our news really quick. an hour before the open, things are going to be wild. Powell speaking. Wait, I'm looking at today. um, 30 minutes after the open, we'll get some volatility. Oh, and then I forgot to show this on ES yesterday. What, right at the... Where was it? Now I'm not going to find it. I think it was here. Yeah. So I said long right here live, and I said to close at the previous day value area low. So if you took it, made a decent little move on ES. Worked out. Let's see. I think tomorrow should be pretty simple. Oh, what is ES doing right now? I don't think we're doing anything crazy. Chopping sideways, right? Yeah, pretty much. Right now, poor high, poor low. They're going to break in one direction or the other, or both. For tomorrow, we just want to be calls here, puts here. If anybody has questions, now would be the time to ask. I want you to move. Thank you. Oh, interesting. KG, we're going to start up next week again. Almighty Beardman, I don't trade gold. I tried it. I just wasn't comfortable with how it moves. Like, it just... I don't know. Maybe if I gave it more time. Wow. I've heard that it respects levels. Gold. I mean, already right here, if you come back and retest that, it would be a good long, right? No retest. Yeah, I would have to look at it. Um, but yeah, I don't like the way it moves. I should just say it's not. I'm not used to it. It's not comfortable for me. Um, looks like we're at a pretty major buy level on Google. Actually, this needs to be like right there. Mm. Sorry, SLV. I don't know what that is. I mean, KG, I do both, but futures you can only trade intraday, and that's primarily what I trade. But I do swing trade. Yeah, David. Just looking at what's happening right now, this second. Um, I mean, I'm also on like a very low time frame. I was looking at 5 minutes. Oh wow, monthly top is closed. Or was I? I was on 30 minutes. No, I wasn't. I was on 5 minutes. Oh, I'm on the wrong chart. I'm losing my mind, people. Yeah, so here on it's 5 minutes. Um, this here, this here. I mean, I pay attention, on all time frames. Obviously, higher time frames are going to give you better information, but even still, we have a poor high at the top on 30 minutes, and we have a poor low at the bottom on 30 minutes. This is wild that we're coming up to a monthly closed top cloud, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us go into it and then reject, or for this to open up or whatever. What were you doing? We were looking at Google. It's kind of wild, like with the clouds on, because if we look, here we bounced off the daily bottom, right? Went up to the daily top, sold off to basically the mid, went back to the daily top, sold off to the bottom. Now we're back up at the top and selling, right? Normally I would just say this is an area to buy, but I think probably better buying down here at the mid, or even the 4-hour mid. So something like this. But then there's also a chance that we come down, close clouds here. And I'm circling both the daily and the 4-hour because the 4-hour might open when we get there. But definitely be a buyer down here, like 152-ish, give or take. But it's kind of iffy. They could go right from here. Basically, at a glance, I'm not loving anything on Google. Like, if I had to pick a direction, I would buy right here and play it up. But I'm concerned that there's a chance that they sell all the way off down to 152-ish. Okay. Man, my leg is killing me right now. Oh, okay. SLV for silver. I thought you were saying like something, I was trying to interpret SLV as something as like SVP, like session volume profile or whatever. You're saying gold and silver move together. That doesn't surprise me at all. Nvidia, no, not really. Oops. We're just getting to sketchy levels, really, like on everything. The monthly cloud is closed, and we just rejected from there. The weekly top is closed. Thanks, Tuxfera. So I think some people are going to get humbled, basically, to say the least. I could be wrong. Just, I'm not a buyer up here, right? It's kind of a strange position to be in. So, like, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but there. Like these I have levels everywhere, right? So this would be one area where I was interested in buying. Um, this here, I think I was interested in. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, so I was saying over here that we might bounce, right? And that's where we came back to here and bounced. I would be a buyer here. Um, I was saying in this zone here, you could be a buyer, right? Um, Definitely be a buyer here. But right now, um, I'm not really at a level where I'm totally wanting to close, but I am not at a level where I want to buy. Um, oh, that's awesome, total or total athlete. That's awesome. Um, if I had Nvidia, I would probably be closing a portion of my position around here. Everything I would close here, but that's me personally, right? And then the issue is when I said I think some people are going to get humbled. Like I could be very wrong about this. It's still left to be shown, but everybody got super stoked when Trump told everybody to buy stocks, right? And if you listened, it hit. There's no arguing that. My issue is every time in the past the government says, hey, buy stocks, whatever, um, they're basically just looking for bag holders to sell to. So them and their friends and all the politicians can get out of their shares and get out of their positions. And when I say that, some people might not understand this, but if you're trying to buy whatever, a share of Nvidia and nobody's selling, you can't buy it, right? You can put in your price and you just won't get filled. Something like Nvidia has, a lot of liquidity, so generally you don't have an issue getting a fill. But if you're looking at a stock with lower liquidity, you put in your buy price, even if you're above the ask, you just won't get filled because nobody's selling. So there always has to be a seller and a buyer, and you can't have a transaction without both. And so basically in the past when politicians realize like, oh shit, like it's about to hit the fan, I need to close my positions, I need to tell my friends to sell all of their shares. What they always do is they tell retail, us, like, hey, start buying. Everything looks great. It's amazing. This is the time to buy. And, really there's no arguing. If you listened, you were buying right around here and you made a bag. But the issue is a lot of retail is not closing here, right? They're still sitting on their bag. And if the market does crash or does have some massive dump, you're going to be left, let's just say Nvidia does this, right? And when I say this, like, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but let's just say this happens. So now you're holding basically $100 drawdown per share because you bought here because Donald Trump said buy shares. So again, like every time they tell us the economy is strong and good and now's the time to buy, they're generally just looking for people to sell to. I don't know if I can prove this, but I remember back in like 2007, 2008, they were saying everything was great. Buy. And then everything crashed. Um, So I'm trying to Google this. I don't know that I'm going to find a result. Um, yeah, anyway, I'm not going to be able to find like something that proves what I'm saying, but um, maybe those of us sitting here today will remember this, next time. But basically, um, every time I hear, politicians or whoever saying, or not whoever, I shouldn't say whoever, but when I really hear like politicians or people like Kramer saying, "Oh, buy, buy, buy," I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, what's about to happen?" Because behind closed doors, they're probably telling all their friends and family, like, "Hey, sell everything, get out of all your positions," and they're telling retail to buy again because without somebody to buy their stuff, they have nobody to sell to. Um, I haven't looked at where like fear and greed is right now. I'm sure greed is really, really high right now. Yeah, so we're at greed, um, which just basically means like people feel like they've missed out or they're FOMOing, and this is where they dump it and sell to us. Um, oh, there was something else I wanted to look up. What is it? So Merrill Lynch's recession forecast as of May 12th suggests that while some investors are forecasting a high probability of a recession, they see it as a rebalancing rather than a full blown downturn. They emphasize the need for portfolio diversification and focus on quality assets, particularly those with pricing power, strong balancing sheets, and benefits from reshort, reshoring. Um, Basically, I've said this since um, Trump took office or since he was elected. If there is a person that can fix the economy, it's him. I'm still very much on the wall about that one. There's a chance. Again, I wouldn't be shocked to see all time highs, and I also wouldn't be shocked to see a massive dump. Um, right now, SPY, it looks like we're pushing for all time highs. Right? If we go on the big picture on SPY, um, zoom out to the daily candles, it looks like, if you look, like, this is the level bulls needed to hold, right? When we came down to here, we bounced a few times before we finally broke through. Then we retested. Then we retested again, and sold all the way off um, down to the 2024 value area low. And now we're back inside here, and we've retested this twice already. If we lose this level, I turn slightly bearish. If we lose this, I turn more bearish. And if we lose this, even more bearish. Once we lose 2024 value area high, I think we're going to go at least to 504, possibly make a new lower low down here. But as long as we're holding above this, I think all-time highs are doable. Okay? Yeah, exactly, Davis. The housing market is fine and stable, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, literally, like, a week later, everything fell apart, right? I mean, I just think the white writing is on the wall. You know, you just look at, you know, like, just within, what, the last year or two, we've had, like, major banking issues. Just wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of a reset, you know? We're just way overdue for a recession. If you don't count, like, the pandemic, so generally we have a recession like every every 6 to 7 years. And if you're including the pandemic, like, we're coming up on that time frame. And just economically, things are not looking great. People are spending money they don't have. If you just look at the big picture, there's a ton of people that have defaulted on their credit cards, that aren't able to make their minimum payments. Basically, as things got more and more expensive, people kept living the same lifestyle they were living. As inflation increased and they're not making more money, they kept living the same way, and they just started charging things to credit cards that they weren't charging before. And slowly, month over month, you know, that credit card balance kept getting higher and higher, and they're paying the minimum or whatever. And eventually it got to a point where they couldn't afford the minimum payment anymore. And then they end up defaulting on their credit card payments. So you look at, like, defaults on credit card payments right now, I think they're the highest they've ever been in the history of the U.S. Defaults on car payments are, I believe, the highest they've ever been. If you look at, sorry, what was I going to say? Or, like, credit card debt, pretty sure it's the highest it's ever been. Just everything that's negative is the worst it's ever been in our history, kind of thing. Again, I do believe there is a small chance Trump could fix this. But I'm still overall very bearish. I don't trust the government when it comes to my money. And when they tell me to invest, I go, ooh, what are they about to rug pull? Because anytime I hear that, it scares the hell out of me. Again, you know, right now, maybe I look like an idiot. If you listened and bought here when Trump said to buy, you're sitting pretty, you know. You're up massive. And that's on pretty much any stock that you look at. You look at, like, you know, stocks that have been dead, just kind of trading flat for a while. And even those stocks started moving. So, again, right now, the things I'm saying, I probably look dumb because he said it down here and we're up here. But I think the rug pull's coming. And like I said, I think some people are going to get humbled. I don't really like to call people out too much, but when I see people saying stuff like, oh, Trump told you to buy, ha ha ha, you didn't listen, blah, 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 and I'm like, yeah, you wait and see, buddy. And again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. I'm good either way. I just like to invest at key levels, and when the when our president says buy right here in the middle, I'm like, no, I'm good, bro. I don't buy in the middle. And I'll take being wrong. The thing is if you follow me and if you follow like the stock scans, we were talking about buying down here. And so if you were listening to us, now you're really good, right? And now you're in a position where you can close, and take your profits and run. And if it does keep going, so what? Like, at least you locked in your win. But if you're buying here, you're taking on way more risk than if you were buying down here, right? This is just not a place to ever be buying for me. I mean, technically, yeah, no, I was about to say it's not terrible, but it kind of is. If we go just off supply and demand, like right here, this technically is not a terrible spot to buy because, from here they sold off again. But then from there, we went up and made new all-time highs. So maybe they go and do the same again from right there. Just be super cautious. I don't really know how else to show you guys this. These clouds are no joke. And when you have the monthly and the weekly closed at the top, not something to mess with. Let me try to remove some stuff and make this more visible for you. Actually, let me remove the daily really quick. Let me remove this, remove that, make it a little bit cleaner. So basically, when these clouds are closed without some major news event, it's pretty impossible for price to go through it. If price is above a closed cloud, it can come back through. But what we're looking at is when we're between them. If the bottom's closed, price is most likely not going to go through the bottom. If the top is closed, price is most likely not going to go through the top. Again, without some kind of a news event. So like if you look, the last time we came to the weekly top and it was closed, we sold off, from here to here, a good 20 points on SPY. And then we basically kind of came back to it again, and that's where we sold off all the way down to like almost new, or to the new lower low on the daily, right? The monthly bottom was closed when we came down to here, and we ended up bouncing right before it. Right now we're back at a monthly closed top. This is where you sell. This is not where you consider buying. The weekly top is also closed. And if we go back, like here we came up to the weekly, rejected, back to it, rejected. Both areas it was closed. As soon as it opened, price was able to go through it. So this is when Trump was elected, right? And so this is your news event that's able to break through a closed cloud. And these clouds are no joke. So like the daily cloud, a weekly cloud can only open once a week or close once a week. And they can only move once a week. Monthly clouds, if you see, like, they're more choppy, right? Whereas the weekly looks like it's moving more often. The monthlies can only move once a month, and they can only open and close once a month. So it's not like, as soon as price comes here, it's like, I'm going to open really quick because price is right there. No, like, this was closed, and it just stayed closed, right? And we were rejected from it 3 times. Here they were able to break through a closed cloud. Again, this is going to be some kind of news. I don't know what. Here they were rejecting hard in the closed cloud, and then it opened and we broke through, right? Again, this has to be news. But we broke through a closed cloud here. But again, like, closed, rejection, 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 and then finally they broke through it. I think this is our quarterly cloud, which means it can only, it is a quarterly cloud. It can only open and close once every 3 months. Here we closed and we were rejected from it really hard, right? Here it's closed, rejection, rejection. I don't know what this all is, but we were breaking through the closed cloud here, or trying to. Rejected off the closed cloud. Rejected off the closed cloud here a little bit. Here it opened, and then they got through it just barely and rejected off. Here we went through it. Here they rejected off the closed cloud. Anyway, it just works more than it doesn't. Rejected here, rejected here. This is all closed here, and you can see like they might have peeked through it a little bit, but really just price was struggling all through this range while it was closed. Here we rejected. Anyway. So the point being, when you see this, like, you don't think buy, you start thinking sell. A big P says SPY to 700. We'll see. I don't think that's going to happen. If we break this without these clouds opening up, I'll be pretty surprised, unless there's some major news event. But so like 615-ish on SPY would be kind of the top for me right now, as of right now. Art, yeah, I am bearish, because we're going to go there and then we're going to dump. They might even start selling from here, so we just have to see. You got to play what they give us and not have a bias thinking, you know, Trump's going to send this to the moon. Exactly what Davis said. Risk is not to the upside. Oh, shoot, my wife's calling me. Hang on one sec. Oh, she just hung up. Anyway, I got to go. I got to go get ready for work. I'm actually going to be running late because we went off on this major rant. But I'm just going to make this short. Much love, everybody. Much respect. I appreciate the conversation. Hopefully you guys are listening to what I'm saying. If you bought when Trump said buy, like, lock in your profits. At least, like, let's just say you bought 10 shares of SPY. Sell 5 or whatever. Sell 7. Lock in some gains. Leave a couple runners if you don't believe me. But just be careful. They might go and make new all-time highs, or put in, you know, a stop loss. Like, this would be a great spot to put in a stop loss below 585.25. If we lose that, we're going lower. So putting your stop loss, you know, like somewhere down here would be like a safe option, to not, you know, lose a lot of your gains. But really, just be careful. I really won't be surprised if there's a rug pull. But I'm also, you know, like, I'm on the fence. Again, if there's a person that can save us, it's Trump. But it's going to be a very, very tall task. It's not going to be an easy task. With that said, much love, much respect to everybody. Y'all have a good night. Have a good weekend. I will see you live sometime this weekend, and we'll go over some stuff. And with that said, much love, much respect. Peace out.